Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Lauren Miller. I'm a solution consultant here at ServiceNow, and I specialize in IT operations management, or ITOM. Today, I'm really excited to be reviewing one of our latest features as part of our newest release, San Diego, here at ServiceNow, and that is our Cloud Operations Workspace. Now, the Cloud Operations Workspace really is true to its name. It's a workspace that we specifically designed for cloud admins. And the need for a common dashboard really came from as our customers are setting up cloud operations, setting up cloud discovery. It's really important to have a designated view of what the status of those operations look like, to have cloud specific insights, to get data visualization specific to our cloud operations, and see the specific recommendations and remediations that come into play as we're really fine-tuning our cloud operations from a ServiceNow perspective. So essentially, this dedicated view is really intended to help you boost productivity in the cloud as you have more intentionally designed visibility to not only the status of your cloud operations, but also the automated tasks to remediate as needed. Now, in the demonstration in just a few moments, we're going to hone in to look at the specific widgets that were designed to help you achieve things like we see listed on the screen here to really visualize your cloud-specific discovery jobs, take a closer look at the resources that were pulled in to your CMDB as part of those cloud-specific schedules, take a closer look at our events that have come from our cloud providers to get that near real-time visibility to our CMDB, how to create and modify cloud discovery schedules from the designated workspace, view and manage our discovery errors, and use some automation cross-platform to really get those errors remediated accordingly and faster. And also to analyze trends over time, not only analyze our data, but see what this is actually telling us about our clouds and our cloud operations. And at the bottom here in the screenshot, you can see that this entire workspace is tailored specifically to the cloud providers that you're leveraging today or have integrated with ServiceNow. And so as you expand out your cloud operations with additional providers, you'll be able to tailor this workspace to only work with those selected providers. So all the data is relevant to you and your organization. One more logistical slide before we jump into today's demonstration. And just a few notes if you're looking to install the Cloud Operations Workspace application so you can see all of the dashboards and widgets I'm about to show you in just a moment, you'll want to first make sure that you have the proper ServiceNow entitlements and licensing. So for our prerequisite plugin, that's going to be ServiceNow Discovery as listed here. If you're not sure about your licensing, you're not sure about the status of Discovery plugin in your environment, go ahead and check with your ServiceNow rep or account executive to make sure you're squared away from a licensing and plugin perspective so that you have no problem going ahead and finding and installing our Cloud Operations Workspace application, and the full name is listed here as well. Now, once you have that application ready to go, you've met those prerequisites, you will be able to see exactly what I'm about to show you in this demonstration. On my screen here is our new Cloud Operations Workspace. So off the bat, we can see some instant analytics across our cloud discovery status and what our cloud operations look like from a ServiceNow perspective. So right away, I can see some statistics and some analysis about my total number of cloud configuration items over the last few days to identify any major spikes that may have come in as I've provisioned new resources that are being newly discovered. I'm also tracking events pulled in from some of my providers, in this case, AWS, to identify any event-based discovery that's been pushed in from some of my cloud providers over the last 24 hours to identify, as seen here, where any of those spikes may have occurred, where I'm seeing more events coming in to update my CMDB in near real time. At first glance, I can identify any immediate discovery errors that have occurred today across any discovery schedules I have running in the cloud today and need my attention. And the last thing I'm going to highlight before we dive into the cloud discovery portion of our workspace is this cloud provider selection capability at the bottom here. Now, as I mentioned, this entire workspace is intended to be tailored to you and your organization, what is actually going to be relevant from a cloud admin perspective. And so we want to tailor this data to only the cloud providers that are relevant to you. And as you expand out your operations and your cloud transformation journey, you'll expand to cloud providers potentially. So selecting which cloud providers are relevant, which data you're going to want to see in this workspace, and which providers you want to create new cloud discovery schedules for. So I'll go ahead and tailor that to what's relevant for my lab here at ServiceNow. And that's going to prompt me to go into my cloud discovery homepage portion of this workspace. Now, this specific work area of the workspace was designed and intended to help you specifically manage your cloud discovery operations. So right away, this dashboard, each of these widgets was designed intentionally to give me that intentional visibility to what is actually happening as I run discovery across my different cloud providers and across my different cloud environments. So at an immediate glance, I can see what's the status of my last 30 days worth of discovery runs. How many of those are active right now in near real time, running as we give this demonstration? How many of those in the past 30 days have been completed or canceled? This is really giving me some data if I need to look into things further. If all of my discovery schedules in the last 30 days have been canceled or errored out, that might be an indicator for me to investigate further. And I'll talk about the resources to assist you as you do so. We can see our closest upcoming discovery schedules that are set to run from a cloud discovery perspective. So my next 8, if I had 8 upcoming schedules, and when those are going to run, what schedules they are, I can click in and see some details about where those are configured to run, what clouds those will be targeting, and when my next runtime is. Again, we can see the tracking of that total CI count. In my case, it is pretty level, which is good because I haven't provisioned anything additional. I haven't modified my cloud discovery schedules too much. So this is consistent with what I'd expect to see here. As well as my cloud discovery errors over the last few days. I want to make sure I didn't have any sort of spike in the errors that were coming back from my normal discovery schedules that I have configured to my different clouds. If I did get 30 more errors than usual, or I had 0 one day and 10 the next, this might be indicating a good point for me to look and see what changed, what happened here. Did we have a credential change, and how to click into those errors and see what's going on, which we'll look at in just a moment. We'll click in to get a closer look at our credentials that enable us to go ahead and discover within our cloud provider environments, as well as our service accounts that we may have set up using those credentials. And our mid servers. What is the status of our mid servers that are being leveraged across these cloud discovery schedules? If these are both down, it may be prompting me to go ahead and do some troubleshooting, look into why my mid servers are down and how to get them back up and running. And lastly, down here, we see some additional visualization. I can see this data being visualized telling me, okay, you have cloud virtual machines being discovered by these schedules. Where are these actually being discovered from? Clearly, a large percentage of the virtual machines that I have in my CMDB via Cloud Discovery are coming from this main data center down here. So giving us that additional insight and analytics to what our data is actually telling us and what is actually going on in our CMDB from a cloud perspective. The last few things I want to highlight before we wrap up our demonstration today are some of the tools you can leverage to handle your errors as they come in from a cloud discovery perspective. So while on my home dashboard, I didn't necessarily have any performance discovery errors that halted our discovery or had an unsuccessful discovery schedule, I do still have a few related errors that are related to discovery that I want to go ahead and take a look at so that I can maximize the performance of my cloud discovery in the future. So for example, I can click in and see all of my relevant errors here listed by category. And I can click into, for example, some of my credential errors that are being highlighted. And as I click in and see maybe we're missing some credentials, maybe our credentials aren't thorough, maybe they weren't correct, that's going to result in us not discovering things to the fullest extent as we run our cloud discovery. So I can go ahead, look at what these messages are telling me from an error perspective, but more importantly, leverage our cross-platform automation to remediate. So I can do things like retry discovery on these specific areas where this error is resulting from, but I can also do things like go ahead and create a cross-platform task. So for example, in this case, this is a credential-based error, so maybe I don't have specific credentials that I need, or the credentials are no longer valid. I want to go ahead and automatically create this task revolving around this error, get it to the right team so that they can help me to put in those, to correct those credentials and make sure I'm all set as I run cloud discovery in the future. So I can go ahead and select my correct support group that's going to help me remediate here. I can put some information in about this specific task. I can say Windows authentication failed, need new credential. I can give a description of what I need per what that error message is actually telling me to do here. can launch this task to go ahead and route directly to that support group, whatever that may be for your organization, and add it to their radar to support me in getting this error remediated. Now, as you're remediating some of those errors across those different categories, it's great to have a lot of information alongside you to support you as you troubleshoot and remediate accordingly. So within the same workspace, it was designed very intentionally to have all the information you need surrounding cloud discovery and cloud operations at your fingertips. And so within our diagnostics menu here, we can see two things: our ECC queue, which are essentially deep dive records of what actual steps were in this ECC queue, what jobs were being launched to our mid server, and what actually happened there. So you can get a really deep dive of what was happening as these cloud discovery schedules were running and maybe where something went wrong potentially. As well as our discovery logs. So we can use our discovery logs to really diagnose and troubleshoot when we have errors here. And even leveraging our discovery log for additional information. For example, hey, what out-of-the-box pattern was launched to discover a specific CI from my AWS lab? And what attributes can I expect to see from that? This is giving you a lot more insight to the status of your cloud operations and your cloud discovery at large. Now, the last thing I will highlight here is, again, not only did we want to give you very intentionally designed visibility to your cloud operations, but also have a designated workspace to create new cloud-specific discovery schedules. So at the top here of my cloud discovery homepage dashboard, I can select to create a new discovery schedule. And just like the original functionality to go ahead and create cloud discovery schedules, that core functionality has not changed. You're just creating these cloud discovery schedules in a designated workspace. So just like you would create a cloud discovery schedule before in the discovery module, you'll still be required to give the discovery schedule a name, select the cloud provider that you want this schedule to be for. And this is going to be limited to match the designated cloud providers that you selected at the front end of this demo when we were tailoring our entire workspace to only work with our designated cloud providers that are relevant to us. So this list will expand as I select additional cloud providers that I want to connect with from a ServiceNow operations perspective and create these cloud discovery schedules with. So you'll select that specific cloud provider, you'll select your mid server, and just like before, you will go through the process of connecting or creating a service account, selecting the data centers that you want to discover, identifying which mid server you want to leverage to get that deeper dive discovery view of the virtual machines. And lastly, configure that schedule when you want it to run, what times you want this cloud discovery schedule to run in. And that is going to give us the data we were looking at today in our cloud operations workspace. As we create new cloud discovery schedules, as we leverage our existing cloud discovery schedules, we get a lot more intentional visibility to what operations are actually happening. What data is this pulling into our CMDB? And we have this designated workspace to monitor our cloud operations. That will conclude our demo today of the San Diego release of the Cloud Operations Workspace. Thank you so much for your time. If you have any questions, concerns as you're getting set up with the Cloud Operations Workspace, please reach out to our team here at ServiceNow, your account executive or rep, and we'll be happy to assist you. Thank you so much and stay healthy and safe.